I'm sure you work with Olympic athletes. I'm sure you
I
work with
do.
countless billionaires. When you notice a high performing individual who's not able to sleep well despite trying to sleep well and trying to do all the things right, what do you tell them?
Well, I tell them never to use the word trying, because trying implies failure. Trying to sleep is like saying, I'm going to try and pick up a pencil. You'd never say, I'm going to try and eat my lunch. I'm going to try and drink my water. So the very word trying implies, it's a misdirect. It implies failure. So when you say, I'm going to try to sleep tonight, that doesn't mean you're going to sleep at all. And in fact, the brain is very driven by words and what words mean. And our greatest fear as human is to fall. The fall, most of our fears come because of our thoughts. We think thought like, I'm scared of that mouse, or, oh, I don't like snakes. But actually, the fear of falling is wired into us before we're born. So if you pick up a tiny baby, they do that. And they have a very powerful grip because they are wired to fear falling, even when they're born. That's why they have that startle reflex. So here's the thing, the human brain doesn't like falling. And if you go and went to the Burj and look down, your stomach will just go, what are you doing? Your legs will turn to jelly, because if you look down from a high building, that fear of falling is wired in. So here's the thing, you go, now I'm going to fall asleep. You've got into bed. The last thing you want is to fall out of that bed. And we do another thing. We get into bed, we put on and go, I'm going to sleep, but you're not actually going anywhere. In fact, you're doing the opposite of going. You've turned off the light, shut the door, you got into bed. There's nowhere for you to go. So you have to change that word to sleep is coming to me. So it's really a matter of reprogramming the brain. And when your eyes roll up in that sleep state, you're going to alpha. And in alpha state, the brain is very programmable. So just stop talking about falling and going and say, every time I get into bed, sleep comes to me, descends upon me, stays with me. The other problem is a lot of people get into bed and think, they're all day, they're on screens, they're on the phone, they're watching, and then they get in and they go, oh, fine. And the brain goes, finally, I've got you now. Let's go over all things you coulda, shoulda, woulda done, because it's the only time when you don't have a screen on. So then you have to say to the brain, listen, I'm choosing sleep, send sleep. I'm not planning to go over anything I coulda, shoulda, woulda done. This is the time to sleep. You're a bit like a battery, We know with our phone, we plug it in and leave it alone. We don't keep taking it out of the socket every minute to look at it. So just like a battery, you must recharge.
You've just kind of given out a bit of a sleep meditation
Yeah.
here.